Virgo, November of 2024 promises some big changes that are very positive in your domestic home life, even including for some of you, a change of home, as well as the ability to really pierce through or break through change that's needed in ways that you are your own worst enemy. You are going to clear the baggage of your negative karmic chains the best you can during the month of November. And that includes, by the way, getting rid of those bad habits and addictions that just are no longer serving you. So welcome to the month of November. And my name is Lori Lothian. If you're new to astrology or new to my channel, welcome. I'm using the Western tropical zodiac, the whole sign houses. And I love those fixed stars and minor asteroids that I make a part of almost all of my video content here on YouTube. Check it out because I put out monthly videos, weekly videos, and all of the eclipses and moon stuff. And I'm really, really grateful that you're here to listen today. November is an important month for you. Now, we're going to also talk today about breaking the sky down into the individual weeks and what to watch for. But I always start with a broad overview of where the planets are and what that means for you. And lastly, by the way, I'm selling something or I'm offering you an opportunity to purchase something, which is my 2025 individual sign videos for 2 hours of instruction or guidance by me on your sign and the year ahead in 2025. You can also buy the bundle, which is 24 hours of video and audio content. When you purchase this, you can download the video audios themselves into your devices, or you can just watch them in the privately housed replay areas of my channel. And this is my fundraiser. So if you want to help me raise money for my equipment, my microphones, my ring lights, my people that I hire to help me on my channel, like to timestamp the stuff for you, please give me a hand. This is my way of creating the money I need to hire help for myself. And so hopefully that's something that you might want to participate in by receiving never seen on YouTube. Never video content about 2025. The best I do is give you a half-hour overview here, not the 2-hour deep dive, plus the PDF guidebooks and all that. So check the description box. It's delivered to your inbox on November 17th. The pre-sale pricing, which is going to close up, and then it'll be higher after that, ends on November 15th. All right, so let's get started. First of all, you're an earth sign, but you're also Mercury ruled. And Mercury, the ruler of your sign, is up to some very interesting business in the month of November. And that's because he's going to head into Sagittarius on November the 2nd and not leave until January the 8th. This is going to put him in your fourth house for a very, very long time. And that is a critical, very, very big deal for you. Basically, with this story, Mercury is going to say, what kinds of changes do you wish to make in your home life? Now, that can be very much like what you might have done in 2017. If you go back to this time of year, November, December of 2017, there are comparisons to Mercury's long stay in Sag in the elemental fire year that this is again for Mercury. So this can be changes in what you're doing in the home. You might be doing reading, studying, learning, communicating. I remember my daughter was in her last year of high school, and that was exactly what she was up to, working her ass off that fall to finish with, all great A grades in her last year of high school. But what are you doing? Because if it's mercurial, you're going to start this in November on the 2nd. And it's going to be about what ideas, what writing projects, what communications projects you need to do. However, Mercury here is also about marketing and selling. And some of you may buy or sell a property or change your home related to financially having to pay money or market or sell or negotiate a deal for a home change. Mercury will retrograde as well. And he'll do that retrogradation on the 26th of the month. And then we'll be talking about it in deep dive content on my channel. But that'll also have you going back and forth over things to do with what you want to do in your home, whether you want to market or merchandise something, or you want to sell your home, or what you want to do for communicating. A lot of stuff, conversations will be important in your home, your fourth house. Now, the other interesting story is Venus. Venus is joining Mercury here, which is, well, she's not just joining him, she's already there. So when November enters into the storyline, she's there until November the 11th, Remembrance Day, in your fourth house. It gives you a golden window of time. Jot this down. Between the 2nd of the month of November and the 11th, well, both Mercury and Venus are in your fourth house. This is opening up the possibilities for the following themes. You may be redecorating your home, beautifying your home, buying a beautiful new home, selling an existing home. You may also be doing things that connect you to the idea of a beautiful contracts in the home, or buying beautiful objects that you need for your home in the month of November. But you're particularly blessed in those endeavors between the 2nd of November and, of course, the 11th. And this is where those things where I need to buy something for my home, something important, or paint my home, or hire a decorator for my home, or do something around my home, it's going to pay off, because Mercury and Venus together are magical down here for you. Venus is very, very protective as well, and you'll buy the right things for your home as well. And if you want to list a home for sale, you want to buy a home, again, November 2nd to the 11th is a beautiful window of time for those opportunities. What else is going on is that Venus, after November the 11th, will move forward out of the sign of Sagittarius and go into Capricorn. Now, she'll be there till around December the 8th, the 7th, and that happens to be your house of romantic love. It's a sexy time. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to be more romantic, more engaged with affection, and more in the mood for romance when she's here. And she'll be here in the house of her joy, in the house of your romantic and sexual life between November the 11th and December 7th, and just makes you a lot more fun as well. You're having more fun. Fun is happening. You're enjoying life. The pleasures of life are being absorbed and enjoyed by you in a beautiful, beautiful trine to your sun, moon, and rising. I forgot to tell you, if you're listening for your Virgo sun, you can listen for things to do with your career and purpose. And if you're listening for your moon, your home and body. But if it's your Virgo rising, it really is like, as I delineate it, everything about you, including your sexual romance house. Now, Virgos, be careful if you're not wanting to get your partner pregnant or be pregnant as a female, because this is a fertility transit when Venus is in Capricorn. And every year you have a high level of probability or possibility of conceiving a child during this transit. So keep it in mind that that's a very vulnerable birth control window, one way or the other, November the 11th to December the 7th. Now, Jupiter is in one place this year, so we won't talk much about him. He's in your 10th house, and he is retrograding here until February. But you still have a lot of career luck going on, and career opportunities from the past are going to benefit you. And that continues to be true throughout the month of November. Another big story going on here is Mars's journey through your 12th house. I kind of hinted at it in the very beginning. I said, do you have to get rid of all these karmic chains that bind you, the self-undoing, the self-sabotage, including substances that no longer serve you, that you may be addicted to or fiendishly craving, your cigarette, your vape, whatever, your wine. This is a time to cut and sever those things. And there's a real strong energy with Mars in your 12th house. That's where he's going to be traveling in your 12th house of self-undoing from November the 4th to January the 4th. And he does retrograde here as well in December. We'll cover that later in greater depth on my channel. But there is a call here to begin to quit or end or cut something out of your life that is really not good for your health, not good for your life in general. It can even hold you back in your career endeavors or in the ways you wish to be successful in life. So you're going to sort of cut the dead wood off the tree of reality for yourself. And a lot of times 12th house Mars transits are addictions. Now, Mars in the 12th house as well can have you want to travel to far off foreign shores on a foreign getaway. And that's something you might engage in as well anytime during this transit. Again, it lasts until January, but it begins on November 2nd this year. Now, we talked about the bigger planetary stories. And, I want to mention just briefly, Saturn is still in your 7th house. And this is giving you a lot of form and structure and discipline within the context of if you're in a long-term committed love. By the way, if you're a single Virgo, that Venus transit through your 5th house, November 11th to December 7th, can be a really auspicious new romance if you're in the mood. And because she's traveling in your 5th house, November the 11th to the 19th, that window of time also has Pluto in your 5th house. So these can be deeply profound and transformative love stories that can emerge during that shorter window of November 11th to the 19th, right? But anyway, Saturn is in your marriage house, and that can make your long-term committed love and business partnerships feel very heavy or weighted, or your partner has been going through a heavy time in their life. Not to worry, this is coming to, a direct motion in the month of November. And that means Saturn is no longer weighing you down by going backwards, which he's been doing since June, as you and significant business and love partners go trolling through the past to strengthen the relationship. But now Saturn moves direct on the 15th of the month and begins to give you the new momentum you need, new beginnings almost of new directions in those longer term love stories. So maybe it has been a little bit turbulent since June, but now Saturn is saying, let's move forward. If you made it through there, right? Because Saturn is like the person checking to see that there's not a cracked engine block in the car or a cracked foundation in the home. If this relationship isn't going to last, you will know that to be true by 2026 February. And right now, anybody who's a Virgo rising especially, and you have your rising degrees in the first 15 degrees or 19 degrees of Virgo, you're the ones who have been feeling this testing of your relationship the most acutely since March of 2023. All right, so you've been already through the testing period. Now we're going to talk next about the breakdown month, day by day, and I'm going to show you the sky. Please remember that I cannot advance the wheel because I lose a rising sign when we move through the month, right? Because the rising sign is connected to the time of year and the essential tables. So hang on, I'm just going to pause it and I'm going to move over to the other side. Give me a second. So let's open up the sky and you can get a lay of the land for those of you who are into this kind of understanding what I'm talking about, astrology. And let's see, there's your Virgo on the eastern horizon. Just forget, if you come into my premieres and you're going, what sign are we on? Guys, just look to the left. That's the sign called the rising sign on the left side of the screen. Eastern horizon line. All right. So in the sky that you're going to see, everybody I've talked about is in the sky. I haven't mentioned much about Chiron, but he's up there with the North Node in your 8th house. We'll see what we can say about that for the month ahead. But let's go ahead and break it down bit by bit. Get a pen, get a paper, or keep this video to replay because I've got a lot of data to share with you, including the 3 different lunations this month. Now, we start off the month of November, very hot and heavy. It's a really intense first few days, So November 1st to the 3rd, you really feel this Pluto opposition to Mars very acutely. You can see that Pluto is in your 5th house of love and romance and sexuality. It's also the house of your children. I mentioned that Venus will be here, as I said, November the 11th, and it is a fertility transit, right? And it also benefits your children. But in the beginning of the month, Venus is yet to become available to your 5th house. And this is like really intense energy. You could have a big blowout with a child. You could have a big conversation or explosive energy with a long-term committed love partner. It may have to do with a lot of unconscious matters going on with Mars in the 12th. Again, it can be about your own addictions and self-undoing. In your own life, you can take this energy and use it. Because Mars, I have to reframe that. Sorry, apologies. Mars is actually going to be at the 29th degree of Capricorn in the first 3 days. And then the next 3 days from the 3rd to the 6th, he'll be in Leo. The Leo is an outer sign opposition. So let's just focus on the first 3 days. On the 1st to the 3rd, Mars is going to have you want to really push against or be pushing against some situation that has to do with your friendship circles, your groups of belonging. And there may be a massive conversational explosion with an elder sibling or a friend, ally, or benefactor. It's just somebody in your social networks. Now, the conversation could be about many things. Pluto could be also conflict in your romantic life that blows out into your social sphere as well, into your social groups of belonging. There's just some kind of axis of 5th house, 11th house tension here. And you may find it's a very cautionary day on November 1st to the 3rd not to have these kinds of conversations, explosive cutoff conversations with people that you consider to be friends, because it could go sideways on you. So watch out for those energies on the 1st to the 3rd of November, or a blowout with one of your adult children or children in general. This axis is too hot to handle. And then, with Mars moving, of course, into an outer sign opposition from your 12th house, there could be a major turning point where you break karmic chains that bind you in those groups of circles of friends that no longer serve you, or in the ways that you undo your own life by a self-sabotaging strategy. Now, what else is happening in that first 3 days is a grand water trine. We'll have Mercury moving through the sign of water at this time. before he moves into Sag. So you have Mercury at the last degree of Scorpio in your third house, flowing to, Neptune in the very end of your seventh house, flowing, okay, to this placement over here, Mars in your 11th house. These are relational or karma houses. And so there's a grand flow of energy regarding your connection to your significant other, your younger and older siblings, your friends, your allies, your neighbors, and your benefactors. And there's a bit of a mixed bag because while you have this kind of glow up, you also have this really tempestuous storm of a Pluto-Mars opposition. The most damage can be caused, in my view, with blowouts with children or blowouts with your friends. The soothing balm of the grand water trine can be helpful in the end of this story to sort of soothe the waters of turmoil, but be careful here. And your relationship with your neighbors is very activated. But in one way, this could play out in a positive way is for you on November 1st to 3rd to take a trip somewhere local, likely with a long-term friend, like a friend that you really like, or with your marriage partner, and really spend some time on a journey that can be very healing and very positive for you and other people involved. You can even travel with a group this time, November 1st to 3rd, and it's very positive for you. There's a new moon also happening November the 1st, a new beginning for you. And the new beginning in the sign of Scorpio is a place where you are going to reset your button for the next 2 weeks after November the 1st, but also the next 6 months. A new start in neighbors and neighborhood. That can be very literal. Some Virgos might move their neighborhood. But if you don't literally change your neighborhood, there's a new start in the house of online social media, writing projects, communications projects, relationships to siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. A fresh beginning and a new start is happening for you. And whatever this new start is, it strengthens your marriage partnership or your long-term committed business and love partnerships. It really brings a new solidity to them because this is a lunation at 9 Scorpio that flows to Saturn in the marriage house. And it gives you a feeling that something good is trying to happen. So indeed, we'll definitely feel that any wobbly legs on your relationship can be strengthened from this new moon that will occur at this time and the 6 months that follow. Now, on the 3rd and the 4th of the month, we're going to see Venus having an argument with Jupiter. And that for you is about home versus career. What is going on in your career that's getting in the way of your pleasure and enjoyment in the home? You are being successful. You have Jupiter in your 10th house of reputation and career, but now you've got all this pleasure and joy and fun in the home, and you've got some gnarly tension going on here. And it just may be your desire to be home and having fun and enjoying your home November 3rd, 4th, 5th, but you've got to attend to work matters. And you just have a sense of having to figure out what the heck to do with the tension. It's interesting to see that Chiron gets into that wedge, and you might also heal something in this tension moment when it comes to those deeper elements of your intimacy with a long-range partner or your connection to the resources you share with a long-range partner, long distance, like a long-term relationship partner. But, anytime I see the Chironic wound engaged in a Jupiter-Venus story, which is a wedge in this case, you're deeply healing something that's been bothering you since 2019 to do with how you use resources that you've either inherited or that you share with your partner, that you share with another person, that you share with the banks and the mortgages. Okay, that kind of thing. And as we move to November the 9th, Venus will square Neptune. Now, Venus is the goddess of good things. And so she's trying to hold fort for some Neptunian problemos here. This is Neptune in your 7th house of long committed love stories, business partners, and client audience marketplace. If you deal with clients, Neptune is retrograde. That means he's moving away from delusion into reality towards realist Saturn. You're trying to be very realistic about your clients, your long-term business and love partnerships, and they're trying to be realistic about it all too. And suddenly Venus has got to have a different opinion here about something that must happen in and from the home. So this is about domestic life with a loved one or a significant relationship partner, or something going on in your home that's at contrast to what you need to accomplish with your audience, marketplace, client workloads or situations. Ultimately, Venus can dispel whatever fanciful illusions are still remaining about these significant relationships in your life. And she has strength because she is in neutral dignity. And Saturn may, with Neptune, bring you into a new level of realistic appreciation of what is possible in your domestic, private home life with a significant marriage type partnership. I think Venus will win the day. And on November the 12th, Mercury will square Saturn. Saturn is in your marriage house. This is where you're testing the foundation for cracks. You're trying to make sure this is going to work. We already see that there's tension here. Venus is squaring Neptune in that marriage commitment house or business partnerships or clients. And now Mercury does the same thing. Because legal contracts and vows and legal forms that you consider signing to agree to are coming off the seventh house. Some of you may be tussling between, November 9th and 12th with legalese around property matters, like the fine print and getting the details. And by the way, Mercury's terrible at the details in Sagittarius. He's in the sign of his detriment. So you got to be careful here to really read the fine print on that contract for that lease or for that home sale or purchase or buy. This is where things need to be attended to do with details and not just sweep over and gloss over in a Neptunian fog that those legal matters are just going to take care of themselves. This is like a classic read the fine print. And Saturn is saying, squaring Mars, go slow, be cautious, look at the details here regarding matters to do with land, property, home, real estate. That can also include in this chart inheritances, all right, and divorce settlement monies, okay? November the 16th to the 19th. Let's go November 15th to the 19th inclusive. We start off with a full moon at 24 degrees of Taurus. There's a full light in your ninth house of God. This can indicate opportunities to complete things that are like educational, academic, or to do with publications and books, to do with visas and passports, or completion of legal matters regarding anything that requires a judge or a court decision. Administrative and bureaucratic stuff as well, completing all the papers, getting things finalized in some way. But the full moon up here is a light. It's showing you what you need to see, and it's in Taurus, and it's in your ninth house. It happens to be pretty darn close to that Uranus. In fact, it's kind of conjunct. So Uranus is on Algol, shocking surprises to do with the full moon on the, did I say the full moon? Yeah, the full moon on the 15th. A full moon can give you shocking surprises around visas, foreign lands, foreign shores, legal matters, and matters to do with father figures. Also, it's a luck house. It's a Lakshmi prosperity house, and you may get some kind of unexpected prosperity or financial luck out of this, especially given that we still have Pluto in your fifth house of winning money. So there's kind of a glowy vibe here around the full moon on the 15th for financial luck for many of you Virgos that surprises you. The full moon is also in a relationship to Neptune that's positive. It sextiles Neptune, the sun trines Neptune. So this luck and energy that's glowing up, not only 2 weeks, but up to 6 months after, good for your money, as I said. It's also good for travel, for distance travel, for moving your neighborhood in a beautiful and flowing and prosperous way. It's also good for court decisions on your behalf. It's also really good for settlement of financial resources with a spouse, especially in separation and divorce matters. And the full moon favors you in this, but in positive and surprising ways, quite likely. And even though that full moon is glowy and flowy to Neptune in the marriage house, etc., another feature going on here is Mercury is opposite Jupiter. First, we had Venus opposite Jupiter on the 3rd and 4th. It's possible that Mercury opposite Jupiter is the same story in two parts. You want pleasure and fun and joy in the home or a beautiful home. And you have tension there on the 3rd and 4th of November. And then again, Mercury follows up and gives you the same career versus home tension on November the 16th to the 19th. So it looks like you've got a lot of energy going on in the home, and you need to attend to it. Contracts, deals, negotiations, communications, etc. And yet you've got all these success obligations in the career space, and the two of them are battling for your attention throughout this month of November. November 21st to the 22nd, Sun will trine Pluto. Sun's busy this month. Sun trining Pluto. Well, Pluto is going to be in the first degree of Aquarius by this time. And the Sun will be in the first degree of Sagittarius by this time. This is going to be a very positive development for you on the 21st to the 22nd regarding pets, rental property agreements, things to do with health, things to do with work and home related matters, including the idea of perhaps working from home. And also it's really good for hiring people to do with your home, so you may want to hire somebody who's very powerful or powerful servant or powerful person to do something in and from your home, to repair your home, renovate your home, hire a servant in your home. But there's a lot of light. The sun is in the midnight hour, and you're focused a lot with that sun transition into Sag. You're really focused a lot on the third week of November to the end of the month on matters to do with lighting up your home. So really the third week of November to December, you've got a lot of energy you're putting into your home life and your domestic life. And you'll feel that maybe this Pluto sextile, you might want to get a pet. Like, honestly, I want a pet, I need a pet, or a pet is going to come to you, or you're going to find yourself having a beautiful new rental home opportunity, or even moving into a new rental home that you've already acquired. So November 21st to the 22nd. And while this beautiful Sun trine Pluto, sextile Pluto happens, we also have a Venus in Capricorn sextiling Saturn in Pisces. This is Venus moving into the sexy time, right? Oh, yeah. And she's already there as of November 11th. And now you get her there around the 21st, 22nd in a flow to your marriage partnerships. And therefore, you're going to have a really nice time around the third week in November with the one you're with, doing fun activities, having fun, doing romance and sexual fun together. It stabilizes that longer term love relationship. There's no doubt about it. If you want to win money, I should have mentioned Venus is in her joy in the house of winning money. Yeah, lottery tickets. You never know. Know your limit, play within it. But it's possible with the North Node in your 8th house that you could end that lucky full moon that happens on the 15th, that you could win some money. So it's a good time on the 21st, 22nd to gamble a little bit safely. Don't take it, to the bank. And you've got Saturn in the 7th, which could mean doing some gambling with a significant other, go to the casino, have some fun. You could win a bit of money on November 21 to 22, or just be feeling lucky in general, lucky in love, lucky in play, lucky in fun with some longer term committed business or love partnership. If you're an entrepreneur, it's going to be a nice time on the 21st or 22nd to really have a glow up, stabilizing your entrepreneurial business, your outreach to your marketplace, and maybe even signing new contracts and agreements that are super lucrative in creative or entrepreneurial business activities, November 21 to the 22. On November the 26th to the 27th, Mars will trine the Sun. Sun will trine Mars. Well, first of all, Mars is moving, as you know, through your very hidden realms of the 12th house. And the Sun will be in fiery, light up your house life, right? In your domestic private life of your 4th house. This is simply to say that you might be really focused on major turning points to do with self-undoing and addictions. And you're working it out through shining a light in the house of your childhood and the house of your family of origin and your house of your mother. That's another meaning of the 4th. This is an ideal time to begin to parse through why you have these bad habits, addictions, and self-sabotaging things and karmic chains that bind you. You may be making some breaking away from in an easy and flowing way, the self-undoing and addictions that you have. And certainly with Mercury here, the mind and the ideas, you're coming up with mental clarity and visionary ideas about how to stop doing that bad thing that you keep doing that isn't serving you. However, for some of you, it could indicate opportunities for travel to far off foreign shores, far away from home, November 26th to the 27th, to far off and foreign and distant lands. And then we also have a new moon on November the 30th at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. This new beginning can unfold over 2 weeks or up to 6 months. New beginnings in Sag are new beginnings in your home. It can indicate November 26th, a brand new home will come to you in the 2 weeks or 6 months that follow. And you have a new start there, new home, new domicile, new place to live, new beginnings in your private domestic life and how you handle it. New fresh starts are down here. You could also find that a new moon in the bottom of the sky is a new way of tending your home fires, a new way of being in the home, new attitudes and new activities that you wish to do in the home. Jupiter rules this part of your chart, and he's just so busy in your career space, and he's out of his element in exile. So with a new beginning in the home and Jupiter in the career space, you're probably going to see that some of the new beginnings are to facilitate a balance between your home and work life, right? And you may work from home. Some of that could mean that, and set up a new routine around working from home as well. A new positive beginning in the routines of working from home in relationship to career and, career and purpose matters. And that's all I've got for you. I hope that was helpful and that you could use that to your best advantage during the month of November, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to my channel again. If you're new, check out my description box. Maybe join my Patreon community. They're getting this early access ad-free content before you get it. I'm recording for them on October the 18th. And they do get access without ads, and that's something that may be of use to you for only $5 a month. All my content is ad-free on Patreon. Welcome again to buy my Sky Reader, my 2025 All Signs bundles and or individual videos with PDF. It's a pre-sale. You don't get the product until November 17th, okay? But it's at a price it doesn't come back again, and it will still be for sale, but at a much higher price. All right, so check it out in the description box below. It's a deal. I promise you. It's a fundraiser. Thanks, Virgo. Ciao, ciao.